you very much. I appreciate that. I'll try to be very brief here. I talked earlier about this real issue is about how do we set the rules of the game to decide who controls the power of the federal government. And the old way is being changed at the federal government level. I talked about that in my earlier comments, and so I won't repeat all that. But I do think there's one thing that really merits repeating, because between now and November, we will get an enormous amount of what I'm going to talk about. And that autocrats use four major techniques to weaken democracy and do these kinds of things that are happening in Texas. And that is, they're just deceitful about what's going on, one. Two, they practice lots of intimidation. I would offer the laughter and the jeering, et cetera, that took place in this hearing. And the first, as we discussed, the first bill is just an example of that. Didn't come from the other side anywhere near like it came from that. The third thing is the militarization of civilian life is part of this, create this crisis mentality. But the fourth one that is the most difficult is to keep raising issues to deflect us from the real issue. This is about changing the rules, rigging the game so that one side has an advantage in keeping the resources and the power of the federal government. And that technique is to deflect us with, well, why is this more urgent than that? Why is this, and why didn't we do it like the old commission? It's every trick in the book, and it is Kabuki theater, as I said before, but I want to repeat that. We all have to be looking out for an enormous amount of this between now and November, and we have to do everything we can to educate the public. And thank you very much for letting me make that point before we
Thank you,
voted.
and my apologies for